Howdy, y'alls. It's me, Dr. E, here to help you out with Module 2. Genetics and evolution, as well as human variation and adaptation. Alright, some meaty topics. You could study any of these for a lifetime and still just scratch the surface. They're very involved topics. But our text does a nice job of giving you a basic overview. So I want to start off talking a little bit about natural selection, as outlined by Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace. Natural selection is really predicated on three kind of key concepts: variation, heredity, and differential reproductive success. And if you look in the written portion of my Module 2 announcement, you'll see that I have a little graphic down there. And it really helps try to explain these three key concepts: variation, heredity, and differential reproductive success. If you look at the left bubble, variation, you'll see a bunch of beetles, right? Some are brown, some are green, right? That is genetic variation within the population, and that's being illustrated through the green and the brown colors, okay? Variation. Next is heredity, okay? Now, heredity is the passing of genes to future generations, right? And if you have a brown and a green beetle get busy, well, they produce varied offspring, okay? And you can kind of see that here in the right-hand bubble, where you have some that are green, some that are brown, and some that are mixed green and brown, right? That's reflecting that the genetic code of green and brown are being mixed and transmitted to future generations. Now, the last concept of differential reproduction kind of shows it's the bottom middle bubble. You can see some brown bugs and some green bugs and a finch mowing on a green bug. Well, this is suggesting that those that are more adapted to their environment, the fittest, right, will tend to be the ones that reproduce more. And in this particular graphic, it's showing the green ones stand out more, so they're subjected to greater predation, right? More critters will eat them, so they're going to have a lower reproductive success and not pass their genes on to another generation. So that's a quick breakdown of the three concepts. Now, that is, I can't stress enough, that just really scratches the surface. And so what I've done to kind of augment our materials is give you a great resource, and this is Evolution 101. There's a link to it in the written portion of my announcement, and it's done by the University of California Museum of Paleontology at Berkeley. All right, so top quality stuff here. So check it out. All right. Explore it. It's got definitions, key concepts, all of that. And it also has more on the various different types of selection, like directional, normalizing, balancing, and also the different sources of variation: genetic recombination, mutation, gene flow, genetic drift, and hybridization. Right? Those are also covered in our text, but this Berkeley Evolution 101 is a great resource to help you better understand the concepts that we highlight in this module. Now, I want to spend some time talking about the concept of race. As I quote anthropologist Audrey Smedley, she wrote that few topics in Western intellectual and social history have been subjected to as much investigation, speculation, analysis, and theoretical scrutiny as the phenomenon of race. We almost never question its meanings or its reality. Well, I'm here to question it for you. From an anthropological perspective, race is what we call a social construct. We invented it, right? It goes back to the 1800s, and actually the origins of anthropology itself. Back in that time period, the concept of race was presented as a means to to explain and understand the differences that we saw in people around the world. Okay? In particular, this concept of race focused on skin pigmentation, skin color. Okay, so these people of this color are one race, these people of another color are another race. Well, that was kind of how we invented it and how we used it. But all of that was made up. Okay, it was an idea, a very flawed idea, because race does not explain the variation that we see within humans across the world. It just doesn't explain it. And a good way to kind of like illustrate that is skin color is what we call a phenotypic trait, an outward expression, right? It's something that you can see of an organism, right? Like, I am white, right? It's obvious, it's apparent. Now, these phenotypic expressions of different colors, we use the idea of race to try to explain them, but that didn't go well, because biologically speaking, race means a subspecies. All right, and I'm here to tell you there are no subspecies of humans. There is only one, right? Homo sapiens sapiens, modern humans. But what we do see is variation within humans, right? Going back to the picture, the bubble of the green and brown beetles, right? Variation. Not all individuals are the same. Now, these early anthropologists, they really tried using race to try to explain why groups were different and why groups were better than other groups. In fact, they created whole classifications of hierarchy, that this race is more advanced or civilized than another race. Well, it's complete bunk. Okay, it's you could use any phenotypic expression, right? Length of nose, eye color, hair color, how long your earlobes are, how long your second toe is, or your big toe. All right, you could use any one of those traits to classify people. All right, and that would be the same as using the concept of race. It's based on arbitrary characteristics. Right. So yeah, I hope that helps you understand that race is a social construct. Right. Biologically, it doesn't exist, right? There's only a single race of humans, right? And in fact, if you look at a genetic level, there's more variation within a particular group of people than there are between different groups of people. So that really underscores that we're more similar than different, okay? So moving on here, definitely check out the video resources that are in the module. Let's see here, we have, let's see here, Jablansky talking about the variation in skin color. We also have, Rice talking about biological anthropology, all right? Gives some great insights. Yeah. I want to move on to this week's assignments. You have a discussion all about the issue of race, and yeah, check out my initial thoughts post. I'll try to give you some more orientation there. Of course, your initial posts are due by the end of Thursday, while your at least 2 response posts are due by the end of Sunday this week. You also have your first milestone due, all right? Final project, part A, milestone 1, interview preparation outline. Ugh, it's a mouthful, isn't it? And this is what I suggest you do. First, make sure you've done all your readings, all right? Because you need to know the material to be able to respond to the questions in this. But you'll see that I have in my module announcement that there's a template. It says Final Project Part A, Milestone 1, Template. download it, right? And it's a Word doc, so you'll be able to directly write in it, then save it, then submit it. Okay, and it's got all the questions right there. Just go through them. All right. Be sure to cite your sources. All right. Use APA style citation. All right. Do that for all your assignments. And yeah, never hesitate with any questions or concerns. I'm here to help you out any way I can. Most of the time, if you got a pressing question, shoot me an email or even call, right? I'm fairly available. I work from home. So, yeah, take advantage of it. That's where I'll leave this. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the discussion forums. Take care.